Hello, one and all. It's my viewer, Dr. Stone, chapter 227. It was you. And there is really no way I can start this video without talking about that ending. Senku finally reaches the black stain he saw all the way back down on Earth, and as soon as he does, the pieces all come together. He realizes the truth. He understands exactly who and what the Y-Man is, as he proclaims, all along, this whole time, closer than we ever knew, the Y-Man was you. And unfortunately, we don't see what Senku saw, so we don't know what the freak the Y-Man is, and we have to wait a whole other week to find out. Oh, God, give me strength. God, give me strength. And, I have theories. I certainly have theories. And they are probably the craziest theories I have ever come up with on this channel, but I'll get to them in a second. First off, I should probably mention the main theory is making its rounds, and that is that whatever Senku saw, his whole line about how closer than we ever knew, is basically him saying that there was a traitor, and now he knows exactly who that traitor is. And, this is an okay theory, but there are just so many problems with it. What could he have seen on the moon that actually showed him the identity of the traitor? It's not like the Y-Man would paint the traitor's face on the side of their base. I guess technically, if it's Ryu's uncle is the Y-Man or working with the Y-Man, financing the Y-Man's, moon base, then it would make sense for him to put the logo of Nanami Corp on the side of the Y-Man's base, but I don't really think it would be all that shocking. Seriously, if man was petrified right now and 3,000 years in the future, we went up to the moon and there was a base with the Amazon logo on it, would anybody really be all that surprised? Be like, yeah, that makes sense. Zeno just looks absolutely and completely shaken beyond all belief. I don't think he'd react that way if he just saw, a company logo up on the moon. Plus, I don't really think there's a traitor at all anymore. The whole reason why we thought Ukyo was a traitor, the whole reason why we thought there was a traitor at all, was because Medusa was activated seemingly by itself. But this chapter seems to imply that just being in a vacuum causes it to activate, causes it to petrify a set amount of space for some reason. That is a weird safety device. I'm not sure exactly why that would be programmed into Medusa. And I also don't know why Senku and the rest of them wouldn't have figured that out on their own, because Zeno said they tried to replicate the phenomenon, but they couldn't. Wouldn't they have thought to put it in a vacuum? Is it maybe something more than just being in a vacuum that caused it to happen? I'm not sure about that. But either way, that was the popular theory, that Senku saw the identity of the traitor in the Y-Man's base, somehow, someway. Now I'm going to share my own theory, which, like I said, is a little bit out there, but please just give me a second, and I think I might make you a believer. Maybe. I think that when Senku said, all along the Y-Man was you, he was talking to the moon. Yeah, the moon, like in space, the moon under his feet. I think the moon is alive. I think the moon is a living, breathing, sentient creature. I know that sounds insane. I know that absolutely sounds insane. And it certainly is, but I do think there's some evidence to it. First off, let's look at the crash site. Senku and the rest of them crashed the Lunar Rover, and then literally 5 feet in front of them is the dark stain that they thought was the Y-Man's base. And yet they didn't see this at all before the crash. They didn't even say, hey, look on the horizon, I think we can start seeing the dark stain. There was no mention of it at all, which makes me think that this dark stain wasn't here before the Medusa was activated. I think when the Medusa activated here, it petrified the moon because the moon is made up of organic matter. I think the moon, like I said, is alive. I think Senku and the rest of them would have seen the dark stain long before the crash. It was actually there before they crashed. There's also the fact that the Y-Man's base is suspiciously close to the landing of the first Apollo mission, which even Senku pointed out as being a strange coincidence. And there is a rather interesting conspiracy theory online which states that during that mission there was 2 minutes of silence where Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong basically communicated with aliens and made some sort of deal with them. Yes, absolutely insane, but that could have been motivation for whatever the author is doing here. Again, really insane, but I like this theory. I like the theory that the moon itself is the Y-Man. It is the big bad that Senku and the rest of them have been facing off against for so long. It would literally mean that the Y-Man has been in almost every single chapter of this series. The moon is always present in the sky in every single scene. That was the Y-Man looking down at them, watching them suspiciously. Oh, I love it. And as for the reason why the moon would petrify all of humanity, I mean, I can think of a few reasons. Number one list would probably be that the moon was afraid that humanity would try and colonize it, try and build bases on it, and that would hurt it or kill it somehow, some way. I think that would make, as much sense as anything involving this theory can. The one hole, though, there's like I said, a lot of holes, very crazy theory, is the fact that Zeno wouldn't know about it. If NASA really did know the moon was alive, obviously that's not the kind of thing they could, share with the general public, but Zeno was a NASA scientist, one of the best NASA scientists. When something strange and unbelievable happened, he was the first person that humanity turned to ask, hey, why are all these birds turning to stone? I guess you could say, oh, there's a secret organization in NASA that was keeping the secret from humanity for some reason. The cult of the Y Man might actually be a real thing. If so, maybe Chelsea really is part of that cult. That would be a really, really interesting turn of events. But anyway, that was my super insane conspiracy theory. And now I'm going to double down with an even more insane conspiracy theory. And that is that this black stain we see on the moon is in fact ink. Yes, it is ink from Boichi's pen, because the real Y-Man has been the author and the artist all along. And Senku realized, wait a minute, I'm a character in a Shonen Jump series, aren't I? God dang it. Yes, that would be the absolute most insane and meta ending I could ever imagine to this series, but it would make me laugh. It would certainly make me laugh, and it makes my whole The Moon is Alive conspiracy theory seem way more reasonable by comparison. Anyway, though, let's talk about the rest of this chapter. Now, we open up with Senku taking his first steps on the moon as all of humanity cheers for him. Yeah, we did it! We made it to the moon! And he is just as calm as possible. Seriously, him, Stanley, and Kohaku don't even take a single second to appreciate the fact that they are on the goddamn moon. It's at moments like this I really do kind of wish that, Chrome had gone up instead. He would be freaking out, doing backflips, jumping all over the place. That would be fun. That would have been a lot of fun to see. I don't know, maybe before the series ends, they'll all go to the moon at some point. The second lunar mission will be Chrome, Suka, Luna, and Jinro. Why not? Those four would be fun on the moon. Those four would be a lot of fun on the moon. And they've got some cool new toys. First off, the Medusa capsule, a little bottle filled with air so they can activate the Medusa even though they're on the moon. Yay! Smart choice right there. I assume they were just going to keep it in one of their spacesuits and activate it that way, but this way they can still throw it, which, very, very useful this chapter. Seriously, that could have been bad. That could have been very, very bad. And they've got a Lunar Rover, which, oh my god, I wish we had gotten a full chapter of them just building this thing, explaining exactly how it works. It's really raised off the ground, so I think it's meant to be, able to drive over hills and rocks and things very easily. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. And then they come across the landing site of the first Apollo mission that actually made it to the freaking moon. I love this moment. I freaking love this moment here. And yes, before I said this is proof that the astronauts encountered aliens during that mission, which, a little crazy, I'll admit that. But, I think the author might have just included it because he needed to, because it is such an important part of the moon's history, and not showing it would have done a great disservice to all those who struggled so hard to get to the moon the first time around. And I also really do like the fact that even though the flag has been completely and utterly bleached, you can still make out the stripes, and it is still standing. It is still standing strong. USA! 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 And I'm actually really wondering if Senku's gonna put down a flag of his own at some point up here. They could be flag for, the King of Science, the flag of Japan, or they could pull Futurama and make a flag that has the Earth on it. Basically showing that, they represent all of humanity, the entire planet itself. I'd like that. I would like that. And just, oh my freaking god, the shot we get, the landscape of the moon, it is beautiful. It is so, so unbelievably beautiful. Boichi is such a gifted artist, and I so appreciate the effort he puts into every single page of the series. Oh, that was just so amazing. And then we get a weird scene. A really, really weird scene where Kwaku is apparently told by Senku to unseal the Medusa capsule, which activates it. Yeah, that was something right there. That was something. I mean, like I said before, this seems to confirm, to me at least, that there was no traitor, that Ukyo didn't actually activate the Medusa, but rather it was just being exposed to a vacuum that triggered it. But secondly, though, there is the much, much bigger issue that this chapter confirms once and for all that the Y-Man is in fact intelligent. That might have seemed obvious to a lot of people, but I've had my doubts for quite a while. I mean, the Y-Man hasn't really done much of anything, really. I assume, he was a broken down AI or an old man who kept petrifying himself over and over again and managed to stay alive for, literal millennia. So, yeah, this chapter confirmed that he is in fact intelligent. I mean, if you think about it, the Y-Man hasn't really done much of anything ever since he first petrified humanity. He did rain down Medusas on Treasure Island, but I mean, that didn't really accomplish all that much. I mean, yes, it created war and conflict and a lot of deaths, but that was about it. And then after that, he mimicked Senku's voice to try and activate the Medusa on Treasure Island, which wasn't really all that great a plan because it was shown that the Medusa would need to be fairly close to the microphone for it to actually trigger, so yeah, that wasn't really all that great a plan and accomplished literally nothing. And as for the Y-Man borrowing Senku's voice, I mean, that could just be because his own voice is broken down, either because he is a robot or because he is just really freaking old and he's gone, basically senile after so many years staying alive because of Medusa. But this chapter shows that the Y-Man is intelligent. He knew about the Medusa capsule, he knew that Kohaku was holding it, and he knew that Senku wouldn't see or try to unseal it. I mean, yes, he got Senku's tone wrong. Senku would never say please and thank you like that, but still, this was an incredible level of intelligence showing that the Y-Man has been watching them and knows all about them. And then just to top it off with that absolutely creepy, terrifying smile as he says, "Thank you so much for unlocking it for me." Oh, that made me shiver. That made me shiver right there. Oh, it's terrifying. So terrifying. And then thanks to Kohaku's crazy gorilla strength, she's able to throw Medusa far enough where they aren't petrified. But I think the moon was. I do think the moon is a living being, and that when the Medusa hit it, part of it was petrified, and that is the dark stain that Senku spotted right here. I mean, I don't think they were anywhere near the Y-Man's base before the crash, so yeah, that's my theory. I know it's insane, I know it's crazy, but I really do think it might be true. But please, leave us down below. What exactly did Senku mean in the last page? Was he revealing the identity of a traitor? Is there a traitor? Is the moon actually secretly alive? Is the big bad actually the author of this series and Boichi, who have been, basically making Senku suffer for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of being a shonen jump? I mean, that last one is definitely out there, but what the heck, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna label this video, "Is the Moon Alive?" So I've completely lost my grip on reality. Huzzah! Below anything else down below, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video where I reveal that the Y-Man was actually the moon, or I reveal that I was secretly really wrong. But until then, peace!